What a Thresh! Aphelios Thresh. Aphelios Thresh. Aphelios Thresh.
It's not often you see Thresh in pro play anymore. He's a very skill-expressive character, which is super dependent on doing very proactive plays to actually have impact on the game, while other supports have a more consistent and reliable kind of value, especially when it comes to this high level of play. But the 25th of July, Keria picked Thresh. Let's get into it. First of all, I just gotta mention that I don't really understand everything going on in this level of play. But as a Thresh one trick, I can kind of recognize and understand how Keria impacted the game specifically when playing Thresh. So you can already see that Keria and Duro picked Unsealed Spellbook. As I understand it, Unsealed Spellbook has become very popular in pro play because of its versatility and the impact the summoner spells can have in different situations on the map. For example, they can swap to TP to get some sort of tempo and get faster on the map. They can swap to Smite to secure objectives, having a double smite with their jungler, and they can swap to stuff like Exhausts to get a huge advantage in fights. Thresh also works well with Unsealed Spellbook as I understand it, because he's kind of an all-around jack-of-all-trades character, which doesn't really rely on going one or the other direction. So Keria started E and not Q, and this is both because he can get as much impact from a flay as a hook early game, but also because of the E passive, which gives extra magic damage on auto attacks. This helps them push the wave faster, as you can see, so they can get prio and level 2 faster. He started Sweeper so he can have extra pressure in these bushes, and as you can see, when he's close to level 2, he starts walking up. And he had to use his flash because they also got level 2 at that point, which made them very dangerous on their retaliation after he threw every spell and whiffed it. But it was still kind of the correct order to use things in. He started off with a flay and then a Q, but he didn't kind of register that the flay didn't land, I think, which is why he threw the Q. He started recalling, but since owner is bot side, he's looking for some type of play here because he thinks that GenG will expect them to have resets. So he hides behind this corner, doesn't know he's on a ward, and he tries to hex flash in. I think they understand that their play is kind of dead because they got spotted on the ward earlier, so now they're just looking to reset. He knows that the enemies are crashing the wave at this point, so he tries to stay just to either hold the wave or, you know, catch it if it gets crashed into the tower. He fucks a little bit with Duro's tempo as well by forcing him to stay, to follow the wave into the turret, threatening to kind of hold the wave if he doesn't stay with it. And now they did a little bit of a swap because Doran could get back bot quickly with TP, and Guma could go top lane and catch those waves. He's moonwalking. So Keria and Duro went Hex Flash this game, and I think it's because it's a very nice summoner spell to have while you have your flash on cooldown, because it allows you to kind of look for some openings, look for some gap closings that you wouldn't be able to without it. So you can see he's just playing out of vision and waiting for somebody to overstep a little bit so he can maybe Hex Flash. Owner is moving up here, so he might lantern him in. Uses the heal for the movement speed, and then lanterns owner in, but unfortunately they're too speedy with Duro also healing for the movement speed there. So you can see how this Unsealed Spellbook pick is allowing them to use summoner spells kind of creatively, not even just for their kind of original use, but in creative ways that you don't see often. He also ignites here to set up for the dive. It's gonna be a big dive. Owner tanked and then he flashed out. So it was a very nice executed dive there. He ignited early to get that extra damage on the Senna without actually tanking anything because the dive hadn't started yet. And just like that, 2 kills for T1. Very huge. What? What a replay. Ideally in this situation, Keria could have stepped maybe a little bit back to throw a lantern down at the tower, get owner out of there without him needing to use his flash. but you know, that's stuff you see in hindsight. Okay, gets the cleanse, and then flash E's creates a lot of pressure, which forces the Senna to flash. It doesn't look like they can go for a dive though, but still, getting the Senna flash here and cleanse is very huge, because I'm assuming Keria is running Cosmic Insight for Summoner Spell Haste, which makes his flash come back before Senna's, and he also has Hex Flash to close the gap while she has nothing. And here, swapped to TP. TP's back to mid lane for the tempo, and he's instantly back on the map because of it. And at this point, Keria is playing in the bushes, using the Hex Flash to close the gap like that. Unfortunately, there was a minion in the way, but that's kind of the way he's looking to play at this point, because he knows that the Senna Flash is down, the Senna Cleanse is down, so he can stand in bushes with his Hex Flash, and if she walks up a little bit too far, he can Hex Flash in, flay her, and Q her, which probably gives them a huge advantage in the fight and leads to a kill. There is a TP coming in, so GenG are forced to back off here if they don't want to get dived. Dove. And I think they're just looking to get the first turret here so they can get feats. Keria picks up Swifties, which are very good boots to get quickly around on the map, to roam, which you do a lot of in pro play, and generally just to be at the positions you want to be as a Thresh, to kind of make plays. He's looking to get some vision, sees the Trundle, lanterns someone, and goes in, but he does not have the backup he's hoping for, and I think that's honestly okay, because I don't think lanterning in Aphelios there leads to a kill by going balls deep like that. They're 4 top at this point, forcing them away from this tower, so they get tier 1 on top as well. And Faker is matching Chovy in bot lane. Obviously GenG are going to look for a play on their own, so they're looking for this bot turret while everything here is going on in top. You can also see that Keria picked Celestial Opposition as a support item in this game. I think he does this because Thresh is a very squishy character. He can save allies very easily, but he cannot save himself. And especially when he's running Unsealed Spellbook, he lacks this type of defense that you would have if you run stuff like Aftershock. So Celestial Opposition helps kind of compensate for this lack of defense that he has when he runs Unsealed Spellbook. Okay. Whoa. I gotta rewind this, okay? So Keria sees a flash E angle. He gets a double flay and ults, forcing Chovy inside this box. Limit tests a little bit with the Victor ult, but actually gets out, which in the long run here starts this entire series of events where T1 come out on top, all because he started that engage. Flash E, ulting, forcing Chovy inside, forcing Chovy to flash out of it, and making it very awkward for the enemy to fight. And then he dies. It's okay though. He dies for the greater good, because they eventually get this entire team fight, which is very, very huge for them. What you can kind of take out of that fight is that you don't really always need to hit your hook on Thresh to be impactful and to turn a fight. And again, in the replay, you can see no hesitation, flashes in, flays, and forces Chovy in here, gets the Chovy flash. And now they're kind of on the back foot trying to disengage, but the beautiful Gragas ult from Dorn also splits them up here, makes them pick everyone off one by one. But IMO, Keria carried this fight. It was just kind of the domino effect of him doing one big play, which made GenG start the fight on the back foot and having to disengage. And then we're back to mid lane. He charges up the Hex Flash, gets the extra range for the hook, but does not go in on it, because if he puts himself in that position going in, he'll instantly die because of how squishy he is. So very correct of him to kind of hold his horses there. Doesn't engage with a Q, just kind of uses it as a nice CC. Beautiful lantern there on Faker, because he already saw the Rise ult coming in. And now you can see he's just playing out of vision, being kind of a menace, being dangerous, Hex flashes over the wall. Oi, 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 it's beautiful. Oh my god. And you can see that this kind of proactive thinking, looking for plays, looking for angles to get a hook like that, is exactly what you have to do to play Thresh, especially at this level. Playing enchanters or playing Rakan and stuff, this stuff is a lot more consistent and safe. But on Thresh, you don't really have any kind of training wheels, and you really have to make plays to be useful as a champion. And it's definitely the Grag's ult from Doran that made this fight kind of awkward again for GenG. He just stands out of vision here, as you can see. Uses the blast cone to get over, and then gets another hook. And at this point, T1 is so far ahead that you can just see they're trying to squeeze out and break down everything on this map right now. Get all the towers, get all the objectives, and don't kind of force down mid lane and risk losing a fight, because you slowly want to kind of work down the map in League of Legends when you're ahead. Keria has also built Locket this game, which is 99% of the time the first item you should go on Thresh. It's a very nice all-round item that gives the kind of resistances and a little bit of health that Thresh needs as a very squishy character, and it's also a very nice supplement to team fights that you'll be in pretty much all of the time. He knows that the last tier 2 up here is the bot tower, so the fight is probably gonna break out around here. They get the slow on Chovy, even though the ult doesn't land. He hits the hook. He goes in and flashes out, uses the locket pretty early. He will die, but the fight is winning. It's fine. And they will get this last tier 2, slowly kind of crumbling the map, breaking down 1-on-1 piece of GenG's base. I also go a little bit deeper here because they know they're so strong, so ahead, that they can get this inhib and then probably get out. It's a nice hook, it's a nice locket. He flashes out, but he goes a little bit too deep as he's a very squishy character, and he gets punished for it. I'm a little bit surprised he upgraded his boots to tier 3 this game. I'm assuming it's because he doesn't really need that many items, but he wants speed to get around on the map and get to places he wants to be quick. But I usually find that the best boots to upgrade to tier 3 are the CDR boots, because you get a lot of haste, which allows you to get multiple hooks off in fights, being such a menace. Bomba! And at this point, they have a man advantage. Senna is dead for 30 seconds, so they're just trying to look very aggressively on GenG here to run them down and push the base in from every lane. They have a wave top, so it starts on the top tower. Boom. Get the top inhib, they have the bot inhib, so now they're just looking to get this final inhib in mid. They've worked down the side lanes a lot at this point. They've gotten the inhib in top and bot, and now they're just looking to squeeze the final air out of GenG by taking all the objectives on the map while super ahead and confident in winning fights. You see they found Canyon lurking down bot here, so they're just looking for a pick on him because they see him out of position. Don't really know what he tried to do by that positioning down there. Keria also has a pretty low number of souls this game. He has 31 at 25 minutes almost, and usually the benchmark is getting around 50 souls at 20 minutes. Although this number is kind of something you shouldn't follow very religiously, as being out of vision and you know, not picking up souls because you're looking for plays instead is usually what you're doing in this high level of play. And as I'm yapping, they go very aggressively because they know they're so ahead, and they just kind of kill everybody on GenG. He tanks a lot here, gets very low, but you know, at this point it is a 4v2, only 2 melee champs left, so they're just looking to kind of slowly end here. Not doing anything crazy, not jumping in and killing themselves, just kind of break down the entire base, get triple inhib, and no need to kind of go for the end here, because at this point they've squeezed so much on this map that GenG are just forced in, you know. Faker even uses the Rise ult to kind of get some distance and getting a safe kind of reset for them. And at this point, you know, T1 is just so far ahead that they're looking to just kill GenG if they walk a little bit too far up, and kind of punish them for any move they do. Oy, 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 oy. You can see that GenG is very desperate at this point to get anything. So, and T1 also knows this. They see the TP coming in, they kill Chovy instantly, and now they know it's a 5v3, and they can probably just finish the game. Owner just goes to kind of stop a reset, while the rest of the team pushes the last of the base here. Alright. Maybe Keria wasn't the MVP for this game. He didn't solo carry the entire thing, but you definitely saw how he looked on the map and looked proactively to do plays. He couldn't just kind of do the safe, consistent plays that other supports do, but he actually had to go one step ahead and look to be the engager, or, you know, the initiator of fights. And I think the fight in mid, where he flash flayed, got an ult on 2 people, got Chovy locked down, forced the flash, and kind of made GenG start the fight on the back foot, was a huge fight for T1, which kind of started this whole snowball process of winning the game, which is a very classic for League of Legends, and especially pro play. I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of VOD review on Keria's performance in this game. If any of you understand this pro play better than me, you can also comment down below and point out stuff you found interesting about the game. I would love to learn something that maybe you guys picked up on that I didn't. I'm currently posting a video every Friday of my journey to becoming the #1 Thresh in the West, and the guy that everybody has heard of as the Thresh onetrick in League of Legends. So if you want to follow along, make sure to subscribe to the channel as well. Again, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you down in the comments. Bye bye.